What it shows. It says hang out live on air.
We're up.
Okay. So um, I wrote some questions that I was going to ask, and I left them on my desk at work. But we're in luck because fate has shined down on us today. Have you heard any of the buzz about Planer Walk and Jaren?
I have not at all. Please tell me.
Okay. Are you aware of what a long con is? Like a con
Along,
man?
yes, I'm aware.
Yeah. So apparently, some of our friends uh, did a long con, and their OPSEC was great because I didn't even hear about it. I had no idea until just a couple days ago. So MC Tune and Planner Walk started they created a document that looked like it was a government document talking about how folks like you and I are being paid by the State Department to fake the globe. And they made it very official looking. And I'm not clear on all of the details. I listened to some of what was going on today because today's April Fool's Day.
Yes.
So apparently they had created this document, and this was back at Christmas.
Okay.
And I guess in January, Slice Barkane was on with Fight the Flat Earth, and he accidentally uh, tipped over his webcam and it pointed at his trash can, which had this document in it.
I heard something about that one detail.
Right. That
Mhm.
was, I think, part one. And then there was a couple other little breadcrumbs thrown out. And then uh, Planner Walk was on a live stream and had to go to the bathroom and accidentally left a document up on his screen, which was the full document that was the partial one that was ripped in half that was on in Sly's trash can. And none other than Jaronism did a full show about it.
Oh my God.
it
Oh, what a guy.
in great detail. But guess how he got the document?
He
Planner Walk.
screenshotted. Oh God.
Planner Walk started a uh, Twitter account called 404 Globe Not Found and sent it to Jaronism, who did a full show about it. Then
Wow.
three or four other channels did some stuff about it. And so today, and then once Jaronism did the show about it, Planner Walk took his entire channel, hid everything on his channel just to make himself look extra guilty. And then today they come out and like, haha, you got owned.
That's great. And how gullible a person that has been for a few years doing this like journalism with the research skills and abilities to know what is real, what is not. How can he fall for a little trap like this? For a little, how can
But
he be fooled like this?
because he wanted to be, he wanted it to be real. And page 2 of the document said this document is fake for the purpose of tricking the gullible.
Wow. How about that for a gullible person? One of
So
the biggest, if not the biggest, one of the biggest, yeah,
I,
flattered channels on YouTube.
I think he's got 160,000 subscribers.
Yeah, I think he's ahead of freaking Simon Dan, which is one of the biggest globe
Right.
proponents, debunkers.
I think this morning I was at about 255.
Wow.
So, oh my God, that was a great ride home from work listening to that.
That is sad. But
So,
and then actually some of these people do believe that many of the globers, the ballers on YouTube debunking the flat earth or doing videos against flat earthers, they think that they are being paid. I mean, these people are for real think like that. That's crazy.
Well, did you see my debate?
With remind me with who?
Flat Earth Fokker.
Yes, on non sequitur, I did see that.
Right. He claimed that Craig and I were both trained by the CIA,
Mm.
which doesn't make sense because Craig's not even from the U.S. So
Yeah, yeah.
how would that work?
And Craig
Uh,
has some military background and yourself, but not
right.
necessarily have to do one with another, you know.
Right. Well, both Navy, but two different
Yeah.
countries, allies, of course, but two different countries.
Yeah.
But the reason I wanted you on here is you got a really great thing that you started. It's picking up steam. Uh, people that names I recognize. The Rumpus is routinely on. I've seen Sleeping Warrior on. I talked to Sleeping Warrior on there, and apparently kicked up a little bit of dust because I told him about the Einstein general relativity experiment, and apparently that caused a couple of other live streams speaking on the same topic. And apparently, I am now dubbed Dickhead number two. Um, yeah, Sean Hufford's Dickhead number one.
Yeah.
Craig thought that he was Dickhead number two, but
And you beat him.
I emailed him and told him he could be Dickhead number pi. So he could be 3.14159265. So, but yeah, I brought you on here to talk about you. So my first question is, and I'm going off memory because, like I said, I've left them on my desk. The philosophy behind your channel, because it really is a lot different, especially than folks like Nathan, who dominate the whole thing. You seem to sit in the background, and unless it really becomes a big dumpster fire, you don't really intervene. And I like your the motto of the channel seems to be "All are welcome." Just tell me about what your thoughts were behind when you created that.
Well, when I was on the flat earth, I was watching a lot. I was watching a lot of content on the flat earth related, the journalism, the globebusters, the all the other channels. I came across the Nathan Oakley show. I think before the show 100, he's up to like, I don't know, 700 and something episodes.
Right.
I caught up with that show when it was show maybe 50 or 60, and I started watching it. And it was a model, it was an open hangout, all welcome. He opened the hangout, do his welcome, and then post the link in the chat. And people click the link and join the hangout. Sometimes even took half an hour before somebody even clicked the hangout link, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then once somebody clicked the hangout link, they got the floor and Nathan sat in the background. And then somebody else joined in, and then they start flowing, the full panel, and everybody was all for all. And it was Curve Water was there, the Rumpus was there. A lot of recognized names. Even Soundly, Sly Sparkane has been in that show
Mm-hmm.
back in the day when the old format was on. Maybe after the show 100, it started evolving. They brought this big flatter proof with the Isle of Man, and then they took, I don't
Isle
know,
of
a
Man.
month or two, like a month or two on that show, and that's where Nathan
Right.
started evolving, asking for evidence, and we see it because he's there, and it started becoming a bit of a circle jerk because before the show, then he sent the hangout link to Sleeping Warrior, Ranty, and a
Mm-hmm.
handful of people, and then he had the same characters in, and then other Glovers come in. After
Mm-hmm.
that, the Quantum Eraser guy, Quantum Eraser Johnston, just show up in
Oh,
the scene, and that's where everything went down to shit.
independent
Uh,
variable.
Big time with the scientific method, with the semantics, with the definitions. And I liked it when I was on the flatter because I say, oh yeah, I'm gonna jump in the panel before the show starts, and I sit on the background. I present a little bit of footage, and I just sit back and see
Mm-hmm.
Nathan and Quantum Eraser and Riley destroying all these Glovers that don't have any scientific evidence of the globe, And Then when I came back to reality, I realized everything was a fantasy that I was having. I was sitting back one day. I got me a little cheap computer. I say, I want to do something, create a little bit of new content,
Hmm.
but I want to do something interactive because I don't want to just sit in the front of the camera, just verbal diary and then speaking whatever I think because it's gonna get boring soon, you know. I say I'm gonna give it a try and do a little hangout, invite somebody to see how it works. So I invited, I think Timmy Osman or whatever gave me a hand in the beginning, a little
Hmm.
little tweaks, how to do it safe. And then I decided to do, I'm gonna open the panel for inviting flatters to bring evidence. Any evidence of flatter, I titled it. And any flat earthers came in, just a few of the ballers came in, and it became a nice little hangout. And I was sitting more in the background, heard the interaction, and it brought back memories. I say, I love this type of shows. Like before, Nathan was doing open hangouts, all welcome. He's not interjecting. I say, I'm gonna take the same format, but I
Hmm.
will not become a jerk because what holds me back a little bit is my English language barrier that I cannot argue. I'm not a debater because I get stuck. You know, when I get a little angry or I just get stuck. The words don't come out fluently and easily. So I say, this is gonna be it. I'm gonna just do open hangouts and let people come in. I didn't know I was gonna have nobody, and then I think the second or third show I had a massive freaking all stars show. I had
Hmm.
Red Pill Philosophy as a flat earther, big channel coming. I had
Oh,
Conspiracy
hold on.
Cats.
Let me stop you. I got to open up some more tabs so that I can be high IQ. Okay, I opened up six more so I can be like red pill philosophy.
Right. So I had a big all-star show. I have had in my channel Sleeping Warrior, Arwin, Conspiracy Cats, Fight the Flatter was there for a little bit. The Rumpus, George Natinuk, Curve
Hmm.
Water,
Schrodinger's
Negator,
cat.
Go Show, a bunch of recognized names, good names. And then in the flat earthers also, I got the Mind of God. He always go in. The
Hmm.
BB guy, he always go in. The one little cuckoo guy, the early seriously flat. But it's cool because they go in there and they're not gonna get abused. I mean, if they make a claim, they have to back up their claim. If
Yeah,
a Glober make a claim, they have to back up their claim. But that's not me for interject and telling like, no, 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 you're gonna have to back up your claim. No, I sit in the background and I let you guys interact, do it the way you want.
yeah,
And if somebody is just talking out of their butts, they it's going to be shown on YouTube. People in the side chat have discernment for themselves. So I just sit back as a member of the audience and I watch how people develops themselves, their arguments and their discussions. And some people just show their true colors, even letting them speak by themselves. They bury their own their selves, and then other people rise to glory when they make a claim and is shut down. You know, I love this format. I'm gonna keep doing it. Open hangouts, all welcome. I'm not gonna ban or block anybody unless
right.
you come in with an agenda. Talk about government. Talk about child abuse. Talk about whatever that doesn't have to do. I want my channel to be flattered and more, but this more is about some kind of conspiracies surrounding the shape of the earth or around that neighborhood. But if you're coming with an agenda about other cultures or
Right.
government, that's not my channel. Politics is not my thing, you know.
Right. Yeah, I've been on about what 5 or 6 times,
Yes.
and I've always thoroughly enjoyed it. Normally, I'm on my lunch break. I'm only in for 10, 15 minutes at a time, but it's always fun. And even when I'm not on, I'm listening. I did see where one guy got kicked today, but for good reason. Uh, he was way across the line. I can't remember.
It was yesterday's show, I think. MG42 Pillbox, if I'm not mistaken. He was trying to dox somebody and talking about.
No, no, there was someone today. I think he was telling people to kill themselves or
Oh
something like
yes, yeah. Oh, on the side chat, yeah. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
one key. My chat is the bluest chat on YouTube. I call it.
Oh, and it's
Everybody has
great.
a range.
Yes,
Everybody has a range because I hate censorship. I want everybody to be able to express themselves. But if you step over that line, you know what that line it is. If you threaten somebody's life, if you tell somebody to do something bad to yourself or others, that's stepping
right,
the line. You can troll each other a little bit. You can call each other names, but that's
right,
part of the. If you were in this corner of the discussion, we have to have thick skin and take it and have a little bit of a dark sense of humor. So we're gonna
right.
be able to take it. But if you go above that line of personal threats and stuff, yeah, that's a no for me
Right.
for real.
And I was a military guy, so even I, before you even stepped in, said, "Hey, dude, dial it back."
Yeah,
And and I think at one point you told him, "Hey, type one more thing,"
yeah,
and that's exactly what he did. And so at that point, that's just disrespect. Like he
it
had
is.
to
It is.
go. Uh, so my next question: uh, when you were in the flat Earth community, were you just in the echo chamber, or did you watch folks well, I guess Conspiracy Cats and Craig and folks like them weren't around, but did you watch some of the others who were making videos in opposition to flat Earth, or was it just the echo chamber that kept you there?
Uh, I was on the flat Earth really deep, probably about 2 years solid.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the first year, I was I was just on the flat Earth, just watching flat Earth content and not subscribed to anybody on the globe side
Mm-hmm.
debunking the flat Earth or doing hangouts against it. I was aware of Red Rhetorics. I was aware of Soundly. I was
Mm-hmm.
aware of Slice Parkane, Sean Hofford, and a few more.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew the Rumpus and the other characters that used to join the Nathan Oakley show.
Right.
But the bigger channels was, I think, Soundly, Red Rhetorics, or whatever. I saw some of their footage, but from my flattered, just close-minded point of view, that I was very active in the Nathan Oakley
Mm-hmm.
show, I didn't want I didn't want any part of it. Now, one day, even before I joined the Nathan Oakley show, I joined the Discord server from Gem Panda Discord server, Debate Flattered and More, which I'm
Yeah.
still part of it, and I'm active on it, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Jim
Uh,
Pad
bef-
was good.
yeah. So before I went, I think Louis Hackett, he was in the neighborhood big time a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
He hung the gloves. He said, "I quit the flat Earth. It's good for him, man. You got out." So he used to live stream the Discord server in his channel, and he put a link one day. I said, "I'm gonna click it to see what this is," even before joining Hangouts ever. And I went on the Discord, and I think I don't know who else. There was a couple people talking, and I spoke like, I just got a few questions. How does this work? And maybe I had a little 5-minute participation, and I
Right.
was nervous, like, oh shit, I'm talking to these people from YouTube that I heard them on YouTube. It was kind of exciting, right? And maybe on and off once a week, I jump in there for like 5 or 10 minutes, ask a question or two, and then they give me all these long answers, and I just walk away. But I wasn't retaining anything. When
Right.
I came very active in the flatter debate, I wasn't even going, barely going. I used to go in the chat and look what was going on, and maybe and a few months before I realized I came back to reality, to the globe, I was more active on the Discord server, a little more active. Whilst on the Nathan Oakley show, I was one of the main participants in the Nathan Oakley show in the daily basis.
Right.
And sometimes I went to the Discord server and I said, guys, I need answers. He's doing these housekeeping questions. I need answers. I'm going to write them down. I'm going to bring it to the flatter debate because you all guys are banned and you don't want to go because of, you don't want to get yelled at, and by him because it's disrespectful. So I used to
Mm.
write notes. What's the evidence of curvature? I was writing notes for all the Glovers in the Discord servers. What's the evidence for gravity? And I was just taking it and then presenting it in the Nathan Oakley show, and they make fun of the answers or whatever. Uh, and then by that time, I subscribed to all the subscribed to Red, to Sly, to Sean Hoffer. They
Mhm.
hated my ass because they thought I was a little bit of a troll because they know me from the Nathan Oakley show. They heard me, you
Right.
disingenuous, or you saying this over here, you two-face. They start calling me Flip Flop. That's a funny name that I still hold dear to my heart.
Right.
Shout out to Alan B. I think Alan B called me Flip Flop the first time, because when I went to the Gem Panda server, I was nice with them because I wasn't never a hyped and angry flat earther. I was
Right.
always in the down low. And then I went back to the Nathan Oakley and I laugh at their answers they give me. And they say, "Oh, you a flip flop. You act over here in the server one way, you act in the Nathan Oakley another way." So, but I was watching all the debunkers and I enjoyed it. I appreciated them all. I didn't take anything like as for reality because I was just so close-minded on the flat earth. I didn't want to believe anything. I just
Right.
watched them just because, to interact in the chat and say hi to people pretty much.
From a lot of what I've seen from a lot of the flat earthers. They want to ask questions, but they don't want the answers to their questions. They say, well, why haven't we been back to the moon in 50 years? Um, how can you have a pressure next to a vacuum? Why this, why that? But they don't want the answer. They want to ask the questions as if the question is more important than the answer. The answer is not important. Just only the question is. Did you was that something that you experienced?
Yes, I had an idea on the answer I was gonna get, which is the main answer because it's the real answer. You know,
It's
I
the answer.
yeah, it's the answer. Yeah, I was expecting something different. So if I ask a question, why don't I see curvature left to right in the x-axis, for example, you know,
Yeah,
it's a common question. I always see it disappearing from the bottom up, but I don't see from left to right. Do we live in a toilet cylinder or something? You know, that's one of those memes, you know, flatter memes.
right. And it's
And
a
I
very
knew,
simple answer.
yeah, I knew what was going to be the answer because I heard it before. But then after I heard it, I doubled down my claim. But I should be able to see curvature left to right. So on the
Right.
flat earthers mind, they don't want to retain. They listen to they are giving the right answers. They just don't want to learn it. They
It,
it's like slide, like freaking Vaseline.
it's funny because I'll hear a flat earther in a debate ask a question and get a very coherent answer, and 2 full years later, he's in another debate asking the same question. It's like,
Same
how
question.
many times do you have to be? Oh, why can't I see stars? Um, in the moon pictures of the moon. It's very simple. It's exposure time.
Yeah.
But 2 years later, the guy's saying, "Why can't I see stars in pictures of the moon?"
I hear you. And believe me, me as an average Joe, English not being my first language, and Puerto Rican, and coming through all this flat earth debate organically because nobody introduced me to it. I just stumbled across it on YouTube, you know. Uh, this is all my own journey. I discern by myself, and I don't got all the answers. And it's not that I believe everything that the globe proposes, that the heliocentric model proposes, but I am happy on on accepting the reality that it is, you know, as for right now, because there are no other alternative. There is any, and that was my bigger issue. If there was an alternative where I can start building, if there was a foundation built,
Mhm.
what the flat and stationary plane, that's not a foundation. That's just something that anybody can say, you know.
Right. It's just
If
a
I had something to start building, I could hold on to it, but there is absolutely nothing for flat earth.
right. And your English is better than a whole lot of people that I know.
Thank you.
Yeah, don't sweat your English. Your English is great. So, where else was I going to go with this? Um, the ones that there's some that we can say believe it for real. Um, I think maybe like the D Marbles and some folks like that. But you got your Jaronisms and your Bob and Orphan Red for sure. She doesn't
She's
believe
a
it.
character. She's a character
Right.
on her own.
Yeah. The thing is with Orphan Red, she seems like if you if you took down all the walls and everything, she seems like she might be a smart girl. She knows enough to make these wild assertions that have little nuggets of truth in them. Like
Yes.
she could talk about quantum particles, and then totally misrepresent them, but she has enough truth in the quantum particle talk that you can tell like she knows a little bit about this. So it just if you're gonna be a Poe, you gotta be dumb. You gotta act dumb. Orphan
Yeah.
Red.
And there are some characters that I still cannot cannot wrap my mind around. Are they a Poe? Are they for real? Are they playing a game? Are they just in here for fun or to troll? like maybe the Chemo, Spurs Chemo. Chemo
Yeah,
is a character on his own. Oh my god.
yeah.
Uh, there's
But he was on Friday, right? This past Friday, I think.
yes, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, yeah.
And well, that's the origin of Poe, correct? That it's someone who you cannot distinguish whether they're lying from them really believing it because it's just so ridiculous. The notion of someone who believes this, you can act just insane and sound just like someone who really believes it.
Yeah,
I
I,
believe
I,
that's
I
the
agree.
origin of that term.
I agree. I was gonna say something. I lost my train of thought.
I do that all the
Yeah, I
time.
agree. I agree, man. Yeah, some of the people that are here, I don't want to say mentally ill or mental or slow. Some people is just so gullible and they don't want to they don't want to think outside a little box. They build, they got a box, they got their brain and they fill it with this information and they don't want to open it to receive more information or change it for other type of new information that come. They some people
Right.
are fed with the idea that the earth is flat, is stationary, and this is how it looks, this is how it works. This is what gravity is, this is what why we disappear the things from the bottom up in a flat surface.
Right.
People just hold on to that, even if I say even if they don't believe it, but they defend it to the death, man. It's
Well,
crazy.
I'll have to be honest. Just doing this for the last uh, couple of years, I only recently started making content, but I was active in listening to it and talking in the chat and all that for the past couple of years. And these people are so fervent about it that it at times made me think, hold on, am I just in an echo chamber? It makes you rethink, which is actually a good thing. It makes you rethink um, whether or not what you believe is true. And I know Sean Hufford has said this in the past, which is absolutely true for me. It's made me go back and learn some things that I forgot and learn some things that I didn't know to begin with. Um, and we're smarter for it. So it's not a total loss. This
It's
this
not.
whole thing. Oh, and it's a ton of fun, which is
Yeah,
the main
definitely.
reason why I'm around.
Everything that I have learned as an adult from the heliocentric model, the shape of the Earth, some types of physics, math, and geometry, I have learned it in these last 2 years. I learned more in these last 2 years being on the flat Earth corner of the universe than all my life in school or previous education. So it has been good because I've been interested in learning and absorbing. And when I was given the answers, when I was in the flatter side, I didn't want to accept it, but I heard it. I listened to them and I absorbed them. I remember all the answers. I just refused to. I took all the answers in, but I accepted to. I reject to accept them, if you know what
Right,
I mean. But right now, coming to concluding the reality of what went down in all these years, that I was gullible enough and I manipulated myself to stay for so long. Uh, yeah, I understand now the arguments, and it's silly because I seen the flat Earth. This has evolved. I came in halfway into this flat Earth new resurgence because it went back to whatever 2015.
right,
I came in the 2017 when I was past the first era. The first era was the Earth is flat, is stationary, and this is the proofs. The water is level, the horizon rises to eye level, and gravity is buoyancy and density, and there's no curvature left to right, and etc. etc. The 200 proofs. When I came in, it started evolving. Now it has evolved this last year to we need scientific evidence for the globe. We need
right,
we need you have to explain it. You have to define this word. You have to give me the semantics I want. You have to give me a yes or no question. Now it become I question the globe, I deny the globe, and I refuse to give you an alternative. That's the where flatter is right now. You have
right,
to give me proof. I deny what you give me, and I'm gonna give you crap. Where is it flatter going to be in the next year or two if it lasts this long? it's probably gonna go to another evolution because it's just crazy.
Yeah, they're gonna have to do something else because at this point, like all their arguments have been so beat to death that I don't know what they're going to do. In my case, I have a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering. I took 4 semesters of physics, and I think I've probably learned more about physics, like you said, in the past 2 years than I remember from college. And I almost want to propose to a university rather than sending your students through the curriculum, put them on YouTube. Just
Yeah.
let them research and beat these people down because it seems like a more efficient way of learning than I did in school. Of course, I did the Cavendish experiment twice in college,
Okay.
and some of my other things that I learned in school, I wasn't even susceptible to the flat Earth movement, but just hearing some of the things that they argue and going and finding the answers, more in depth to it, I've learned so much recently.
Yeah, of course, that's good. And I think more people like me should come forward in the sense of I am nobody special. I'm just an average Joe, as I say. But if once you believed, if once you change and you accepted something given to you as for the truth, and then you realize that truth was just a fantasy pipe dream and it dissolved in the air, those people should not just delete their channels and go away. You should stay and speak, maybe a little bit, do a show or two if you don't want to stay very active. Go to panels, go to little interviews, and tell what you have gone through because I think that's what's special about me. That I was really deep in the flat earth. I let my voice heard. I was recognized in quotes a little bit, by some people. Oh, I hate Jose. He's boring or whatever. But I don't care. There's always haters.
Well,
But I refuse to go away. I refuse to go away because I'm fascinated by the subject. And still, I'm really looking for new evidence. I love taking footage. I love looking at nature myself and figuring out. I look at the moon every night. I say, like, that's a mysterious object up there, for real. Because we, as having an open mind, I say, could it be an alternative? Yes, it could be, but where is it? Am I gonna be given something by any flat Earth proponent? No, not yet. They haven't given me nothing. All I see from flat Earth is deny, but I keep my mind open. I welcome everything. I love the observations. I had a lot before with optical phenomena, inferior mirages, mirroring effects, and I was holding to them when I get the really clear images that show evidence of structures in the long distance missing half things from the bottom up.
right.
Impossible, geometrically impossible to be explained on a flat earth unless I invoke magic. It's just nonsense. I had to snap out of it and come back
Right.
to reality.
Well, I've got to tell you, you're not a boring guy. You've got a great thing going, and I, I I can't say enough good things. I mean, this is your at least second interview that I know of. I know Craig had you on his show, and I enjoyed that. And I've got you on here, even though I don't know how many people are actually going to watch. We'll probably get maybe a couple hundred views if I'm lucky.
That's cool. Yeah.
Maybe I'll get another subscriber or two out of it. I've got, I
Yeah.
think, 255 right now.
I can grab this video and put it on my channel too, right?
Oh, please. Yes,
And
sir.
some people
And
over here. Yeah. Cool.
I wanted to say also, congratulations. You passed 1,000 recently.
Whoop,
Uh,
whoop. Yeah.
I'll be super happy if I get to 1,000.
Yeah.
So yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, and uh, what does you say? Boom.
Boom. Yeah, I'm happy on doing what I'm doing. I was having a lot of technical difficulties today with the OBS.
Oh yeah,
I run this type of Hangouts. I open my OBS. So if the Hangout is taken over by an unknown from the YouTube and
right.
they maybe kick me out of the Hangout, if I'm streaming this setup, if I get kicked out, they take over the YouTube channel for 5 minutes. They can play music, play porn, and I get my channel
Yeah.
taken down.
The
So I got
snipers.
the
that's the
Yep.
next thing I wanted to ask you about.
Oh,
Uh, what's up with these people? Like, why can't they just let you? I guess you wouldn't know the answer any better than me, but
yeah.
like, what's up with these people?
I have no idea when somebody is letting themselves heard, when something is being shaken up a little bit around, when people is getting views and eyes on them, when truth is getting out there and true colors of characters have been shown,
Hmm.
people just hate that from both sides, you know. uh, is to be disruptive, to shut people down, to not create this open discussion like we need more of these open discussions. Everybody welcome, no echo chambers. I freaking hate them. I really do hate echo chambers where people is send hangouts in private links, you know. No, I want to put it out there for everybody to
Right.
be able to click and join the discussion, you know. We don't have to be experts. Well, I'm not an expert, none of us are experts. Some people is more knowledgeable in a certain subject, but we are all humans and we all want to discuss about this subject. I want everybody to be part of it.
Right. I mean, I know from myself, and I can't speak for all of the other folks in the community, but a sniper's not welcome around me. Uh,
Yeah.
but it seems like on that end of the spectrum, you can snipe however much you want, and you're still part of the community.
Yeah, true that.
Uh,
Yeah, ironic.
right. And I guess probably maybe one of the last things I wanted to talk about, and then we can just maybe chit chat after that. There's a certain person on your channel who um, disrespected uh, someone in a way that I took exception to. I think you know who I'm talking about. I won't bring his name up. Uh, what do you think about? And I'm not accusing you of anything. I think you're probably doing what I would have done. Uh, what do you think about still letting those people come in and participate after they've done abhorrent things to people who are less well off than they are? And I'm being cryptic to just so I don't have to say a name.
Yeah, I accusations have been made for certain individuals, and I have known these individuals not personally, but through offline conversations, offline YouTube, offline Discord, you know, personal conversations. And I know where these people come from. Are they considered trolls? Could some people call them trolls, and some people can call them truthers, and some people could call them time. They want time. You know, they want to have their time online. Some accusations have been made, and I don't think those accusations are real. That's number one. Have they made any little? Hold on. Have they made people mad, angry, and do comments derogatory and talk nasty to others? Yes, but I think that's part of the censorship that I'm not gonna take ownership from. I don't want to delete or ban anybody yet until they are disrespectful personally to me, to my channel, and my
Right.
presence. You know, uh, I seen people step over the line a little bit. I go like, no need, don't do it again, or I will remove your range. I will block you on my channel. Those people are okay with me. I like a lot of content they do. I don't like some things they say, but I tell them that's for Discord, that's for your personal little whatever is going on. If you got a personal beef with somebody over here in my channel, attack the argument, don't attack the character, you know?
Right. I
Yeah, so
actually
right
read
now,
you wrote that today in the chat, and I appreciate that. Like I said, I wouldn't do. I don't think anything different than you did. And I think it was late last week. I was defending a friend of mine who is uh, disabled, and someone said, "Oh no, he's not. He's faking." And you stepped right up and said, "Hey, there's no reason."
yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
remember, yeah.
I appreciated that, and that's when I said, "Hey, I want to talk to this guy."
Yeah, when somebody speak something personal about a person that they never met, in real life, if they want to speak some personal something, they have no right to do whatsoever. Nobody have to, unless you know that person face to face. You have shaken their hand and talk to them and hang out with them and interact with them. Nobody is allowed to speak anything personal about other person when
Right.
that interaction hasn't happened. True.
Especially for someone to say that he was disabled in service of his country, and someone else to say, "No, you weren't." Uh,
Yeah, that's BS. Yeah, I don't like
that
that.
was that's over the line, and that's happened to this gentleman several times. And it's funny because each and every time that it happens, it's by people who did not serve.
True, right?
Um,
And so sometimes
so
some,
you see why I get a little bit salty
oh,
about
I
that.
understand. Yeah, I totally understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes I let some comments slide and some actual discussion interaction on my channel, but it probably I'm just attending something else. My wife isn't here, and while I do the show, sometimes I just step out because I don't have my camera on, and I'll be like half an hour the show running. I'm not even there, you know.
Oh no,
So it's
I think you do a great job of moderating. This is no criticism of you. This is criticism
I
of
understand.
some people who just think they can say whatever they want about whomever they want without any knowledge of the actual truth.
Yeah, there's something that everybody has to do, and they have to stop attacking persons, attacking the characters and personalities for
Right.
real, because that's the worst. The worst it is. The little bit of a gossip is good, is fun. Yes, it is. But attacking physical, personal appearances or
Right.
disabilities for people, no sexual preferences, anything like that. There's no need whatsoever for real. I agree
Right.
with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had people tell me online that I didn't serve,
Right?
which is what did I spend the last 22 years doing? Like, where was I at Walmart bagging groceries? And, uh, some people will just pull anything out of the woodwork to further whatever their argument is, regardless of what is true. And that's one of my favorite go-to lines is, "Do you care what's true?" Because
True.
some people don't. They just don't care what's true. They just want to win the argument.
Yeah. Shout out to Bob from Globebusters. Was it Bob who said he was a pilot, a commercial pilot, or something like that?
Oh
I
yeah,
never caught the whole story, but I think he was full of it. Full of it.
he apparently because Wolfie drilled down on this, and
Yeah, yeah.
don't don't cross Wolfie because because Wolfie is a no shit pilot, a very well paid pilot as far as I can tell, and so he went and dug out his license, and apparently he's a single engine pilot. I'm going off memory here. Don't quote me.
Right.
Apparently, he's a single engine pilot and has never had a multi engine license. Uh,
Yeah.
although Bob said he was a actual airline pilot, and once Wolfie brought that out, all of a sudden that disappeared off of the Globebusters page.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
it's actually, well, going back to what I just said about people telling me I never served, it's a double-edged sword. Um, you can't just go willy-nilly accusing someone of lying, but you, on the other hand, can't just let someone say these ridiculous things that um, my last tour in the military, I was at SEAL Team 2. I was not a SEAL. Uh, I'll say that again. I was not a SEAL. Uh, but you would not believe the people at the bars at night just rolling up in there saying, "Hey, I'm a Navy SEAL." And
Yeah.
you can talk to them for 2 minutes. Like, no, you're not.
That
Uh,
is yeah.
so it's a fine line between calling someone a liar and calling someone a liar because you know he's a liar. But
Exactly.
you got to get to that threshold where you know he's a liar.
Yeah.
I was at a bar in Florida, and someone told, this is when I was at SEAL Team 2, and he said he was a SEAL and he had served at SEAL Team 2. And I was like, well, you know, when you come in the gate, that McDonald's is right there next to the gate. And he was like, yeah. He was like, I used to stop in there sometimes. I'm like, brother, there's no McDonald's next to that gate.
Ooh.
Um, so
He gave himself up with that easy. Yeah.
it's pretty easy. If you're gonna pretend to be something, uh, don't talk to someone who
Has
knows,
been there and done it. Yeah.
right, who knows that topic. Uh,
True that.
so for Bob to say that he was an airline pilot, for somebody like Wolfie, it's pretty simple for him to figure that out.
And I can appreciate when people say they have some kind of degree or knowledge of a subject, even in art or music, you know. I
Right,
appreciate it, but if somebody say, "Oh, I'm an artist, I'm a professional painter," and
right,
they say, "This is," I say, like, "Show me something. Let me see your gallery. Let me see your one of your paintings. Let me see
right,
some anything that you have done.
right,
Go to your living room and show me one of your jobs." Oh, I don't have nothing with me. I have no website. I have no galleries. I got not a painting on my house. Really? Then you're gonna tell me you're an artist? Everybody's an artist. I'm actually an artist. I don't have any evidence, but I can paint like a mother. You know, I can paint freaking murals with freaking a basket of fruits and stuff. I paint a couple churches in Puerto Rico with waterfalls, and it was beautiful. This is the most majestic. I don't have any evidence, but if you're gonna tell me, you're gonna show me that as a degree, I'm an artist and I know what I'm talking about, and don't present me anything. No, don't come with that crap. You know,
right.
I hate when it's called all you, me, and others agents, and we have been paid. We are being paid for by the government to save the globe. You know what's going on here, man? Talk to me,
I used to have some checks around here. Oh,
right?
God, where did they go? No, I actually fabricated. Oh, here we go.
The NASA shield check. That's beautiful.
Do you see who
Uh,
signed it?
1,000 rockets. I cannot see. I see like a J. It's a little
That's
blurry in
the
my head.
signature block.
They, yeah, I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah, they.
They signed it. I
Yep.
love it.
And it's written. It's from NASA, written to Schrodinger's cat.
That's the real deal. Yeah,
$1,000. Yep.
confirmed.
In the memo block, shilling for the man.
I love it, man. Thank
Uh,
you. I
What
love you see, I love sarcasm, bro. I like it. I
what more
enjoy
proof do you need? You know,
it.
I'm rolling
I
it.
love if you bro, if you were doing a little broadcast and that check was in the table and you were just showing the little corner with the NASA, maybe the little 1,000, somebody will make a hit piece out of it and would put you as for real, bro. Come on.
Oh, that's kind of what I do.
Yeah.
When I make my little videos, I always put in a little nugget. Uh, if you go through my channel, a lot of my stuff's boring. I make stuff
Easter
fun.
eggs, putting little Easter eggs around. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got some videos about navigation. You know how we do navigation and how longitudinal lines converge as you go north from the equator, which is impossible on a flat Earth. But I always put a little, just something on there. Like here's one that I was working on yesterday. I'm not sure. You know who these folks are.
Equilateral. I cannot. It's a little blurry, man.
It's oh yeah, it's a little probably shiny. It says congrats to GE and Casey.
Yes, yes. Congratulations to them. They got married. Yeah.
Yeah,
Holler,
I was
holler.
making a video. It actually didn't. The video didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, so it's not there. But uh, you know, I just throw little things up there like that, and then I'll put a little 33 up in the
Yep.
corner, or the little the triangle with the eye in it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. When I
just
go, sometimes on my show, 1 or 2 times, I go like, "Oh, how does it look? Does it look good?" And I go, I
Yeah.
do the Illuminati confirm,
Oh
looking through
yeah.
the eye. Come on, guys, you gotta have a freaking sense of humor, bro.
I think last night, I believe it was, or was it 2 nights ago? Red's Rhetoric was on the channel, and he was talking about how he went to a rocket launch and he had to pay $33 to park,
Of
and
course,
then
right?
he said he had to pay $6.66 for a Coke.
Wow. Yeah, that's
You
hilarious.
know,
That's good.
just tweak them, just to give them something to talk about.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
You
almost
gotta
like
do it, man.
it's like when you have a kitten, you take a laser pointer and just run it around the wall and watch the kitten chase it around.
Yeah, I haven't had a lot of interactions with them people. I think I was once uh months back, Red Rhetorics, he was gonna do a special show. He was gonna invite a certain person, and then he said, "All right, I just want to invite somebody, any flat earther in the chat that want to come in and talk to me. Come on." And I clicked the link and I jump in his hangout for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him like, "Hey, what's up? Like, who are you? Where are you coming from? You know?" I tell him I've just been indoctrinated with YouTube videos, and I believe the Earth is flat. And I don't know. I just came to chat with you guys. Do an intervention with me. I was being a little funny in a funny way, but I was being real. Just doing in intervention and tell me, what you got for the globe. And it was a very cool interaction. I was with him maybe for like half an hour.
Yep.
And I think one or two more guys were in the background, but it was more of a Red Rhetoric schooling me a little bit. And I was just listening and agreeing, like, true. He asked me a few questions. I say, I really don't know. I don't have an answer. Accept that the earth is flat because I was really deep in. And it was a good interaction. I enjoyed that one.
A lot of people say Red's Rhetoric is a jerk, and uh, he doesn't listen to people and things like that, and he's standoffish. From what I know of Red's Rhetoric, I've never met him in person, but I know that when uh, his friends need help,
He stepped in.
multiple times he has stepped up in a big way. I can think of 3 times that, and that's just what I know. Who knows what he has done in his personal life outside of YouTube? But he has stepped up and done amazing things for his friends.
Yep. I
Uh,
agree. Yeah.
right? Yeah, you're probably aware of at least a couple of those times.
Yes.
Um, and you know, he gives what he gets. Basically,
Yeah.
when I've never seen him uh, fire the first shot in a debate. Yeah, he'll come on the debate and he's good, and then once he gets some shit, he gives
Yeah,
back. Yeah,
exactly.
uh,
He reacts how people interact with him. Yeah,
right.
if somebody is nice or just keeping it real, he keeps it real. If you are an a-hole with him, oh, he's gonna be an a-hole back because he can be.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to him before. I came on his channel as a nobody because somebody else let me in, and I came on his channel and said a few lines here and there, and said, "Hey, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here because I probably am not welcome." And Red's told me, he said, "Hey, you don't have to go. You're welcome anytime on here."
Cool. Yeah. True.
Um, and I've never seen him abuse anybody that didn't deserve it, even though
True. That's
he's got that reputation, and that's probably because he's just so good at it.
yeah.
Once once it's warranted, I told him one time in person, well, not in person, on voice on YouTube. I said, Red, I was like, I spent 22 years in the Navy. I know how to cuss better than anybody. I said,
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that can fit more cuss words in a sentence than you can. Um,
He's good at it.
but yeah, he's got a good heart, and he just has a low tolerance for BS, which
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not a bad thing.
Yeah. And all of them, I appreciate them all. Let's say Fight the Flat Earth, he's getting a lot of hate from both sides because I hear Glovers attack him for whatever reason. Come on. the guy gamer, and he's interested in the shape of the earth. He saw there was an opportunity here for his channel to grow and interact and talk about what he likes. Nothing wrong with that. If people is making money here too, I mean, it's nothing wrong with that. More power to him.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
there's other people, that I appreciate, but as for Fight the Flat Earth, I don't have any issue. I was sketchy in the beginning because when I was a flat earth before I went to the globe and I met him for the first time on YouTube, he was a real prick. But then he evolved and he changed his way of discussing things, and I appreciate him. When he invited me to the interview, I said, yeah, I go with you. If you ask me the questions, I ask him because I don't need a script. I don't need anything. Everything is my own experience. So I just give you my little testimony. So it was cool. I enjoyed the interaction with him a lot. And he gets a lot of hit. I don't even know why, man.
yeah, no, well, he's probably by far my favorite.
Right.
I love his channel. He and I have talked offline about personal things. We're both sailors. Uh, I can't say enough good things about Craig. And I really wish if I had a time machine to go and undo some of the things that happened to him, I would do that. But
Yeah.
obviously I can't. But I have a lot of uh, people that I would call friends in the community, but he is what I would call, for someone who I haven't met in person. I hope I do in Texas. I'm really going to try to go there. But I
You
would
guys
call
going? You're planning on going to the conference, right?
Yeah, I'm planning on going. He says
Woo.
he's going. He's definitely going. And so,
It's gonna be good.
if for no other reason, just because I want to shake his hand. Uh, I mean, I would fly there to shake his hand and fly back, because I just think a lot of the guy. We have some things in common that I'm not going to bring up, but
Yeah.
yeah, he served his country and he paid the price for it. And that's why, like I said, I get a little bit upset when people say he's faking, or
Yeah.
that he's doing what he's doing for the money. Yeah, when never mind. I don't want to get
It is right. It is right. I
and
just want to make. I just want to throw a few names out there. While give you my little feedback. I don't know if you know 'em. I mean, you heard of them. Maybe you interact with more or not. But uh, Conspiracy Cat, awesome videos. I
oh my
enjoyed them a
god,
lot. Funny, hilarious, and I appreciate
he's
him because thanks to him, is what I was able to reach my 1,000 subscribers. He did because he jumped in one of my panels in my first few hangouts,
mhm.
and he hung out a little bit, and he gave me a little shout out on one of his shows at the end, and I got me like 400 or 500 subscribers of his shout out, and then I get to my 1,000 with thanks to Craig and Fight the Flatter with his interview. He sent a few more people to subscribe to me. But Conspiracy Cats, I love his style, bro.
Oh, he's hilarious. And I want to echo what you said about when, those of us who are starting out with tiny channels. I've got a green screen behind me that I barely know how to use. Um, and the folks from the bigger channels, a lot of times they'll like give us some advice, and then they'll have a video, and at the end of it, they'll say, "Hey, go check out blah blah blah." And the next morning, I'll wake up, and my Google Mail, I got 30. This person subscribed. This person subscribed. This person subscribed. Uh, and that's another thing that we can contrast. I don't see that on the other side.
I don't see it at all. No.
I've
One or two people give little shout outs to
right,
3 or 4 specific channels. They want to keep it in
right,
their subscribers among themselves only. Like it's like a 4-way. Subscribe to this, and the other person says subscribe to this one, and it's like a
yeah,
little triangle or square. That's
yeah,
it. They want to keep it there. They don't want to expand, further.
right. Well, I asked here a few weeks ago. I asked Brainy Beaver. I was like, "Hey, can we do a collaboration?" He was like, "Hell yeah, we can do a collaboration."
Oh, yeah.
And I did my best for the first part of the video, and then he comes in the second half and just crushes it, and says at the end, "Hey, go check out Schrodinger's cat." The next morning, I had 50 more subscribers.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, I hope I'm in a position one day to do that.
That's cool. Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
other people that I appreciate their job. Slice Parkane is awesome, and I thank him because he's been checking out some of my hangouts. I see him on the live chat, and there was one day we were talking about the water test, and it was George and the Minor God and etc. etc. And
I heard
Slice
that
Parkane
today.
was on the chat, and I presented his video, and I asked him. He said, "Yeah, go for it." So I appreciate him letting me use the main video of the actual test that he was going to perform. I like that because he go out there and he does tests and good stuff too for everybody, Flat Earth and Global community.
And I have no idea what Mind of God was talking about today.
Oh man, yeah,
It
that was.
was it was it was just words, just random words and strings that didn't make any sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. One person that I had, and I say had in the past because I haven't had an interaction and I'm not interested in keeping this. I had a little bit of a beef with Sean Hofford because of after the after when I went, I told you I was on Red Rhetoric once and I wanted an intervention and I spoke with him when I was on the Flutter side and it was really good. I think the next day they did another hangout and Red Rhetorics mentioned me. He said, "Oh, like be like hashtag be like Jose. Jose was here yesterday, and he was cool, a cool guy, and we were able to speak." And Sean Ho for jumping like, "Oh, are you talking about Jose, the Nathan Oakley guy?" He go like, "Yeah." He go like, "Oh, he's a disingenuous piece of crap. He changed the title of a video. He was just mocking or doing. I mean, he put me in bad place." And they're like, "Oh, really? Okay, so screw Jose then." I go, Sean Hopper, what are you doing, bro? Like, come on, and we had a little bit of a back and forth. I still got a video up because all the videos I have my journey on the flat earth. Uh, I think that only one beef for little back and forth with certain people. I keep them on my channel. It's not that I keep the same mentality or the same sentiment, but my videos are in my channel for anybody to visit. Look at the date when that happened and then ask me how I feel right now. We all evolve from that. I appreciate Sean Hoffer. He does really good job too.
Yeah, and Sean's a genuine guy.
He is. Yep.
He's one of them that, and think I want to say I've been a victim of this too. Uh, you can be on either side. If you say something wrong, Sean's going to call you out.
I hear you.
I don't know of anybody who has not been a victim of this at some point that that I've heard Sean say, "No, you're wrong," and that's another thing that contrasts one side from the other. Like somebody can say on the flat Earth side that continents are made of dragons. I think we know who that is, and I have never heard anybody say, "What? What are you talking about? Continents are made of dragons?" But you can say that the square root of 9 is 2.8, and he'll come to your house.
Yeah.
So it's just a whole different mentality.
Yeah.
But
so get triggered pressing the certain buttons. You can have 100 buttons and you can press 99. If you press that little button under the armpit, boop, that's gonna trigger somebody and you're gonna get it.
Yeah.
Everybody, we are all the same.
Yeah. But I think Sean Hufford, in my opinion, never met him in person. He's an authentic article. He's an authentic dude.
Yeah, all these guys that I've seen on YouTube doing the globe the flat earth debunking and the globe proponents, I don't see anybody. I never consider anybody to be an agent or disingenuous in any way.
Yeah, I don't. This whole thing about agents and all that, it doesn't even make sense. Like,
it doesn't.
Who?
That's a defense mechanism they have.
Right. Who would send me $10? Nobody watches my shit.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
And then
Yeah,
and
and
then when they
everybody else that I didn't mention, shout out to you. You know, all the Wolfie. I'm not a big follower of Wolfie. He talk a lot of technical, about flights and planes, and I watch a
right,
lot of this stuff. I was very active watching his stuff when he was on the 100,000 bet from that one dude. That was funny,
right,
And I
right,
watch his content every once in a while. Soundly, I appreciate Soundly, one of the best flatter debunkers ever. And I
right.
dared to do one video called titled, it is still on my channel, video soundly debunked again, this time by Jose Gonzalez on the train track. It was a funny gig. I believe that I debunked soundly with that footage when I was all in. Now I realized this is a little small scale optical effect that I cherry
Oh,
pick just to do this illusion. But it's part of the journey. It's part of this evolution that I have had. I love it. I have enjoyed this journey a lot, man. Believe me, I have, and I'm still on it.
my only objection with some of our friends on the Globe Earth side is they get me in trouble in the morning because I wake up super early and I'll go into the bathroom and put my headphones on, turn my phone
Mhm.
on, and then I'll hear somebody like Craig from Fight the Flat Earth say, "Hi, I'm Fight the Flat Earth. This is the channel that cuts the brake lines of on Stupid's car." And
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
I'll start laughing my ass off and wake everybody in the house up. That's that
yeah. Stop
that's
doing
my
that.
issue because you got Brainy Beaver, hilarious,
Yeah,
Conspiracy Cats, hilarious, Ragical, hilarious, uh, Fight the Flat Earth, hilarious. So every morning, one of them's got a new video up that I can watch,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. Those are the big YouTubers, very recognized. But there's a lot of people behind doors. I say behind doors. They're not too active on YouTube, but they're more active in maybe jumping in hangouts, jumping in chat, and in the Discord. It's a big community of people
right,
very knowledgeable about this subject on Discord.
right.
I want to just throw a few names. Timmy Osman, excellent. I enjoy Timmy Osman a lot. I
I'm,
know many people
I'm,
have
I'm aware of
each
him.
personal issues, but Timmy Osman is awesome. He does great observations. And last week he did an awesome test with Jessica Slowski on the
Yep,
salt flats
yep,
using GPS and stuff. Excellent. Everybody have to watch that. And then the Gem Panda Discord when I'm more active.
oh yeah,
Over there, we got Gem Panda, we got the Curve Water, we got big recognized names. Everybody soundly is on and off there. All the
yeah,
names that you can imagine they were back in the day, 2 and 3 years ago, in the big picture on YouTube. They
yeah,
are I'm 99% sure they are in the Gem Panda Discord, interacting probably, one or
yeah,
twice a week. Really
yeah,
good stuff.
yeah. If I was to sit down and try to list everybody out, I'd probably end up with 50 names, and everybody's doing good work. Uh,
Everybody is.
except for me, I'm doing mediocre.
You
doing
good,
mediocre.
you good. Keep doing your thing and hanging out, jumping out in the hangouts and let your voice heard, and give us
Right.
your 2 senses. That's what I tell people. Don't hide behind the chat. If you are able to click that link, jump in and have a
Yeah.
little cameo, speak your piece, and ask a question. If you want to not stay the whole hour or two, just ask a question and jump out. That's the whole
Right.
idea. Your
Yeah.
voice is louder than your text.
Yeah. I've gotten some emails recently that I think I, I don't know how many videos I have up now, but someone sent me an email and said, "Hey, I've been watching your stuff, and every one you get better."
Cool.
Which is probably the natural progression anyway. But it's encouraging to hear that. Hey, I'm getting better. Uh, did figure out how to get my green screen to work, even though I need to. I got some lighting issues and things like that, and
Yeah.
uh, it's just and it's a lot of fun. On a Saturday, you sit down, you write a little script, you try to come up with some funny lines, and make a little video. It's
Yeah.
fun and it's for a good purpose.
Yeah.
And like there is a actual cost to the whole flat Earth notion because if you look on, there's this lady. I'm sure you've heard of her, Marilyn.
Yeah. Spirit level.
Right, and she'll just set up a booth at the mall and she has no issue with putting kids on camera, like young
Yeah,
kids, and tell
yeah,
them that the Earth is flat. And
yeah.
so,
Horrible.
what happens if you influence them into that? Then the there's an actual real cost in the
Yeah.
long run. So we have fun with it, but it's also uh, it's also good work
Good
that
word.
happens.
It's educational. Believe it or not, it's educational. One of the best education we can have is this type of interactions from one person, not an expert on the subject, versus another person who's very expert in the subject. If we ask the right questions, we're gonna get the right answer.
Right,
And maybe this person is not gonna accept the answer, but there's another 100 eyes looking at and
right,
listening what's going on, and they say, that was the right answer, you know. So
right.
it's good because maybe you're interacting with somebody close-minded, but there's 50 people behind him listening to what's going on. They say, this guy is stubborn, you know, they don't want to believe it or whatever.
Well, I wonder how many people. This was a big joke, and oh my god, I laughed my ass off. They hear Anthony. If you have a triangle with the sides one, one, and one, what
Yeah,
are the
yeah.
angles? How many people heard that and said, "Shit, I
That
don't know
hold
either."
on. That day, that happened on Betty's Discord server. Flat Earth versus Pseudoscience is called her Discord server.
Mhm.
Um, that's where Quantum Eraser and Betty Van Halsen hang out in there and Sleeping Water sometimes. I went in that voice chat and it was full that
Mhm.
chat that day. And they say like, "Oh, Jose, man, you came in late, you missed it." I say, "What's going on?" They say, "Riley was just cornered and he tapped out and he rage quit after he
Yeah,
was asked after he was answered this question." And they asked me, "Can you answer these questions? If you got a triangle, an equilateral triangle with one and one, what are the degrees inside the triangle?" I say like, "Dude, I haven't done this in a lot." And I say it's 60 degrees because it has to add up to 180. So every single angle is the same. 6 times 3, 180.
there
And
you
they
go.
say, fucking beautiful. That's it. That's all we needed. And Riley couldn't answer that question. It's a shame.
But what my point is about that, like that's a simple example. But when you get a little bit more complicated, like there may be some things people are rusty on,
Yeah.
and and they're thinking, well, I don't want to get cornered by that one day.
Yep.
So they go look it up. So we're all learning
True.
because I'll be honest, I have looked up a lot of stuff um, going through this because stuff that I used to know that I forgot or stuff that I didn't know, but I don't want to get in a debate or get on a chat and get cornered.
Exactly.
So you and I have both said this during this talk. We don't want to get uh, back into a corner. So what are we doing? We're learning, and then
Amen.
um, and then when
Yeah.
our kids want to know something, guess what? We know it because we looked it up.
Yeah.
And like I have this thing, and
Yeah.
I took my son out into the front yard the other day. Right before I took him to school, the sun had come up, and I held it up. The moon was up that way, and I held it up
Nice.
and showed him how it was illuminated uh,
Exactly the same way.
exactly the same way as the moon.
Indeed.
Um, and that's a direct result of I don't know who it was, some Englishman who put a video up and said, "Well, the moon doesn't look right
Yep.
because look how it's illuminated." The funny thing was, I went back and forth with him for about 10 different posts, and then I went back and I was looking at something, and he had done this. He was pointing at the moon, and the moon was illuminated on this side, and so was his finger.
Yeah, that is it.
And I said, hey, go to whatever 27 minutes and 43 seconds and look at your finger and look at the moon. And he blocked me.
Oh, come on. Both hurt.
Yeah. Just say
That's
you're
crazy.
wrong.
Yeah, nothing
I,
wrong with that. Yeah,
right. I've done that before.
yeah.
Uh,
I was in school. I was really good at math. I mean, until I graduated high school, I think it was the best subject. Always math. I was really good, and I was really good in geometry and
mm,
shapes and all this stuff. And I studied in college. I went to college for 2 years, and I studied a little bit of trigonometry, and I was really good at it. I just had to drop. I couldn't finish the course,
mm,
but I forgot. I have forgotten everything now. I have seen refreshers and I have seen equations presented, and everything come back to me. And if I see it
it comes back. It
done
comes back fast.
by step, it all comes back to me. So I
Right.
understand where math works and math is could be broken, and everything about this heliocentric model mathematically works and realistically works as for simple as putting a freaking ping pong ball or a little balloon to get the illumination of the moon. Everything.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, parallel lines are going to illuminate that ball exactly like they illuminate the moon. So
One
it's
observation I had, and I still on my channel, is crepuscular rays.
right.
That was a big one for me because before the sunset came once, I got off work early in the morning, and maybe half an hour before the sun rise, I could see the crepuscular rays. I mean, like big time. I see it opening, really beautiful. But then I kept following it, and in the other side, they converge to a point. Also, they anti-crepuscular, and it was a beautiful sight. And I saw it with my eyes, and I grabbed my phone and I started panning around and looking through my phone. It looks so clear, the lines. And
Right.
then I was thinking, like crepuscular rays. I think I titled it "Crepuscular Rays of Flat Earth." How does this work? I heard the claim that it cannot work on a flat earth, and it was while I was still a flat earther. And just sitting back and picturing yourself in a third person view, look at the earth and the sun as a system, the sun freaking super far away,
Mm,
and standing on the earth, you can see the rays, how it works, how it wraps around the earth, just to see that illusion from this tiny that we are in this point of view. The
well,
only thing I say to sometimes people, just picture yourself stepping out of yourself and seeing it all as a whole system, as looking from a third person point of view.
right.
Some people cannot grasp that.
Well, they're never uniform. Sometimes they go up just into the clouds,
Yeah,
and
they
then
open and close.
uh, maybe at a couple thousand feet, and then sometimes they're farther. And then this morning, it's funny because I was parking my truck, and we have a fountain out front of my office building, and the rays were going just above the fountain. So
Yeah, the
that means
sun.
that the sun would have to be on top of our building.
Climb the tree and you grab
Right.
it.
And have you ever heard of an airliner crashing into the sun?
Yeah, right, indeed.
So
It
it's just that's just such a terrible argument.
is. It is big time.
So
Oh man,
uh,
that's funny.
any uh, final uh, wrap up thoughts?
I'm good. I enjoyed it, man. I have fun. This is good sometimes. We just gotta hang out with each other in a little personal one-on-one. It's fun. Let the minds roll for a little bit and have a little bit of organic of the script interaction. I think it's the best conversations we all can have. Just speak outside of any influences. Just think for yourself and be free. Have your own thoughts and mentality. Don't let yourself be pulled. Not you personally, but I'm telling to people who are watching this. Don't let yourself being peer pressure by anybody. You are your own person. You are your own thoughts, and come to your own conclusions. Question everything is beautiful. It's good. I love questioning everything, but to deny
Right.
everything, taking the synthetic approach, that is the worst approach you can take. You can try it, but you are going to be such in a small little corner that you're not going to reach any conclusion, never ever in your life. You have to open your mind and listen and learn. It's
Right.
important.
Question everything, but listen to the answer.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I agree. I
So,
agree.
Jose, I appreciate you coming on, and you probably helped out my channel. more than you probably know that you did. And oh, I had fun. Hell, we were on an
Yeah, a
hour.
little over an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it seemed like 15 minutes. So
Yep. I agree.
right.
All right. I'm gonna mirror this video on my channel.
Oh,
Maybe I don't know if tonight or tomorrow. So I'm gonna probably download it and upload it as its own, and I'm gonna link your channel, so people can go and check you out. Yeah,
yeah.
you have to get a little more subscribers and keep doing content. Keep doing what you do. What I was gonna say, I'm more of a field guy. I love going, doing observations, taking my P900 for a ride, which I always do when I go out with my wife.
Hmm.
But we got different work schedules, and I don't have a car. I don't have a car. She has the car, so I wake up early in the morning because the place to do observations is 20-25 minutes drive from here. I cannot get to it, so I'm doing these little hangouts, and we only overlap one day off, her and myself, on the week. And I'm trying to go, take an hour or two to do observations, but it's up to her. She got other plans. The wife she's the boss. We got to make the wife happy, and I'm happy, if you know what I mean. So
I
I'm
know.
looking forward to go outside and do more observations and share with everybody. I love doing that.
Yeah, no, keep doing what you're doing. I cannot wait to get to maybe 500 subscribers, and maybe I'll have a little special. Maybe I'll be better at uh, YouTubing by then.
You'll get there. Yeah.
So, but yeah, keep doing what you're doing because it's a lot of fun. I skip a lot of other bigger channels
Yeah.
to log on to your show each day.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you everybody to check me in, because yeah, this is the people that we usually interact in the chat. So why not to jump in and sit back in the chat and have a little interaction in the chat side, and then have an interaction in the voice chat. If you click the link, you're in the show, and have your voice heard. I
Yeah,
like it a lot.
but if I could get an RSVP, because a lot of times I click and it's full. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
okay, yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
joking.
I'm
I'm
telling
joking.
you, yeah, yeah.
No, I'm
People
joking.
jump in. They like it there. Yeah, I like it too. I like having a full panel.
Oh yeah,
It's cool.
no, it's a lot of fun, and I do like when you got one flat earther and nine globers in there, and you ask a glober to drop out. That's exactly the right thing to do.
Exactly, I agree. Yeah,
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah, and I sometimes I don't try not to interrupt, but sometimes I chime in and I ask the right questions.
right.
And I got the 2 points of view because I've been in the flutter. I know the flutter arguments, and I
Yep.
try to keep it neutral and not biased. Sometimes I do a little giggle, but that's just in my sense because something gets said that whatever. But I try to keep it neutral and real. And we
Right.
have to have humor all the time. Laugh
Everything,
is a beautiful thing.
everything you're doing, keep doing it.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
All
Thank you
right.
for having me, brother.
Have a good night, sir.
Thank you.